Heading out to my parents' house again. What I'm gonna be doing is dealing with GFCIs. There is no GFCI protection on their countertops, and there's no GFCI breaker. And on my other video, it showed me just putting a regular receptacle underneath the kitchen sink. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to load that off another GFCI, which that's what I was planning on doing. I should have explained that in the video. All the receptacles are 15 amp. I'm going to change them back to 20 amp receptacles, and then I'm probably gonna see how it breaks off, and then I'm probably gonna load 2 or 3 receptacles off one GFCI. It says you can use as many as you want, but every town is different. I remember when I was going to school for my electrical license, the teacher was actually the inspector for that town, and I remember him saying, like, they're looking for 2 or 3 they're looking for 2 to 3 receptacles loaded off a GFCI, which is understandable. So I'm going to be working on it hot. I use that to help me troubleshoot to see where the outlets go. Don't work on stuff hot. Not telling you to do this. This is what I do. It's a good way to blow yourself up. If you want to work on it dead, you could probably just disconnect the wires and do a continuity test. But I'm just gonna probably have the power on, disconnect the hot, look for an outlet that it kills, so that I know which one is downstream from it. And then I'm gonna kill the power, then I'm gonna work on it. Like I said before, don't work with the power on. I'll get you guys some shots. So these are the outlets I bought. I got GFCIs, and then I have regular outlets. They're all tamper proof. Got 15, 20 amp. I'm only going to put 20 amp on the stuff that has a 20 amp breaker and 12 gauge wiring. So now I got to figure out, get off the counter, dude, how I want to start this out. Come on. Yeah, you can tell these are the existing outlets in the house. These never been touched. Somebody changed the outlets in the rest of the kitchen. Good. We do have power on right now. Wired correctly. Wired correctly. I think this one, if you shake it, nope. Yeah, wired correctly. Okay. This was not taped, so you can ground it by accident. Ooh, don't skin a wire. Oh, I forgot to say also that those aren't arc fault protected, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put arc fault breakers on. So I'm going to disconnect this hot. Look at it, it's all backstabbed. Look at that. Usually you're able to slip them out. But since it's 12 gauge, I think it's a tad harder. Let's see what's going on now. Here's my idiot tester. Okay. So that's still alive. I wonder what I separated now. Open ground, but obviously we still got power. Let's see if the garbage disposal works. Nope. The power coming from here is probably going to the garbage disposal, as we see in another video. And then we can finally ground, I mean not ground, but we can finally GFCI protect the garbage disposal. Because I just put a regular outlet in there. Not GFCI. So that takes power away from there. Okay, so got my tester in here. It's open ground because if you don't have a ground wire, your ground attachment is pretty much your screws because the box is attached. So if I take this wire off, it should kill power to that. Should. And obviously I have everything unplugged. When you start disconnecting stuff, that's when stuff starts blowing up. Let's take the screw out all the way. Okay, we still got power now. So, we still got power here. So I'm going to disconnect one of these wires and see if it kills power here. Don't want to trip nothing. Cool. That's dead. This is our live wire coming in. Dead. And then this should be dead. Cool. So this tells me we got the power coming in. This is the hot going to this one. And then from there, it goes to here and then to the garbage disposal. So I'm just going to put a GFCI here. And then I'm going to load the 3 outlets, which is the one underneath the garbage disposal. Let's double check that this doesn't go somewhere else. Oh, cool. Obviously that's on. 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 So now I'm going to shut the power off and I'm going to work on this. So this is for the bathrooms. This is a GFCI breaker right here. But that's not our... You gotta be careful too, because these cheap testers, they could be, sometimes they give out false readings. I'm gonna say it's this one. So we have no power. Better than a doornail. Oh, look at that. Look at that. This is probably why that Romex blew up when I cut it. Because I just noticed now. Those guys are right. I didn't even check the outlet after I was done. It was getting late. And assumed it was fine. And this is what happens. So they crossed it. So we're going to get that all straightened up. So now, since we got the power off, I'm going to open these splices up. I'm going to check out everything, make sure everything's all kosher. Make sure we got 12 gauge wire and everything, and all that good stuff. Okay, so this is feeding a different circuit. So I'm going to shut this one off too. So this was actually on a different circuit. I got this off now. Let's check this out. Since a wire nut's one-time use. Okay. Neutral. Better make sure the power's off when you disconnect the neutral. Definitely blow stuff up. So you see with that cheap tester, sometimes they're sharing neutrals, and this is why I picked it up on another circuit, because what happened is they're sharing neutrals right now, or not. Well, they have two different circuits right now. Two different circuits. They're putting all the neutrals together, and they did this back in 1979. Because I know this wasn't touched. Because I did put tape on that, because I checked it out and I didn't notice this. So I'm going to separate the neutrals and go from there. Definitely more involved than I thought it was going to be. Okay, neutrals are all separated. Cool thing about Romex is, boom, now you can see. Oh, I should have marked that. Oh no, it's fine. This is going to my next outlet, because I got that hook on there. You always want to make sure you're marking stuff. You don't want to get confused. This is my power coming in right here. And then this is for the other circuit right here. See, when you break it down, it gets a lot more simpler. Because you can see, if you look in the Romex, up there, this neutral goes to this circuit right here. So then, and this one also is the same pair with that neutral. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie these together, and I'm going to make sure that this stuff is kosher. Usually I cut this stuff off. I like fresh copper. Because you know what happens to copper when you play with it too much? It gets twisted too many times, it breaks, makes it weak. I only use wire nuts when wires are twisted together. Other than that, I'll use Wagos. A lot of people say, oh, you should put them on smaller loads and blah, blah, blah. But I seen a video where they put these things to the test. They put 60 amps to this thing. 60 amps. Not ready for 60 amps, but did pretty dang good. Thing got hot. It didn't even... I forgot how they melted it. Put that thing to the real test. Cool thing too is, if this doesn't work out, I can just disconnect it real quick, you know, and try something else. Usually I don't do all this. I won't separate all these neutrals and all that, but I know this house has been like pretty much untouched. There's no botchery more than, you know, probably just outlets being butchered. Come on. Make sure all this stuff is touching. So I found out what I cut power off to for the second circuit, not the kitchen circuit. It says kitchen and dining room, but you see we have no power. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug this fridge, or freezer, whatever you want to call it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that power on. And then I'm going to come over here and see if we have an open neutral. There could be a reason why they put those neutrals together. Or they're just a hillbilly. Either one. Okay, so plugging this thing in. And boom. Look at that. There's one light lit, so I'm guessing that's probably going to say open neutral, I bet. Light, open neutral. Yeah, so the further I looked into it, should realize that this was the power coming in this Romex. And they have two color wires, which is my 2 hot and this one neutral. So now I understand they did share a neutral. And I didn't know they shared neutrals this back in '79. I'm actually really surprised. I thought they just did this in newer builders because they're trying to save as much money as possible. This is why I don't even typically even separate the neutrals and try to do this. I'm just trying to do it right. I am very surprised right now. So this is the power coming in. So that's our line right here. And then this is going to be, for the next thing, I want to make that GFI protected, so I'm going to load this up. So I checked the outlet for the garbage disposal, and it showed an open ground. Which is kind of weird, because obviously it would be an open ground. And then the guys online were telling me about, well, maybe most likely you're switching to neutral. And I'm thinking to myself, well, all I did was, when you know, hooked up my hots and hooked up my neutrals, and my fault for not double checking. The one time I don't double check and test the outlet. So I'll have to figure out where the open ground is. I wonder if that thing shows multiple issues. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the hot and the neutral. This power's off on this thing already. So I don't want to do this. I'm just gonna bypass this, make life easy. Because this is our power coming in. So and I put something down. I don't want you guys yelling at me. Usually I always do anyways, at least for customers. I didn't do it for my own family. Shame on me. Shame. Shame. What was this pass? Bypass it. Just testing it. I want to see what happens on that outlet down there. Because usually when you see something, it's probably crossed for a reason, or they just goofed. Either one. Either one. So here's our neutrals. And hooking up our hots. I love about Wiggles. Come on. Cool, as long as I'm making connections right now. So I'm gonna turn the power back on and we're gonna test this out. And pull this thing out of there. Let's test this out. Get rid of the light. I can't even see. There you go. Looks like it's right. I can't see from this angle. Yeah, it's right. That's weird. I should have showed you guys, but literally, when I tested that outlet, it actually said open ground. But the hot and neutral was reversed. The middle light was lit. And that's supposed to be open ground. So that's why it blew up on me, because the neutral was switched. So this garbage disposal's been running backwards for the last 40 years. Cool. So here's the garbage disposal. Okay. So I'm gonna take. I want to make sure that this is our hot, or make sure this is our garbage disposal. Where's my tester? It should be dead. Dead. Test my garbage disposal. Dead. If I turn that off, he's gonna scare me when I turn the power back on. This is a little deep in the wall. It's pretty deep in the wall. I wouldn't use spacers on this. It's too deep. And I would, you can either cut it out further and put a mud ring on. I mean, yeah, put a deeper mud ring that'll sit more flush outside. Not outside, but behind the wall. Or they have these box extensions that you can put in there. Okay, so this is how I have it all wired up. This is loading over here. Got all my hots hooked up. Got all my neutrals hooked up. Got it ground to the box. There's already a ground to the box. There's a clip in there from the original builder. Okay, so here's our GFCI 20 amp. It's good. 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 So, we're going to test it. Okay. That's good. Oh, I just tripped it because I hit the button again. Good. And then, underneath the kitchen sink. What are you doing down here? See, that's wired correctly. And we're gonna trip it. Dead. Really, I could have put the garbage disposal switch right here. And then I could have just had it turn on and turn off. But at my mom's house, she likes to put the blender here. So, obviously, she would have to be fighting with the blender in the way. So that's good with that. So now I'm going to go downstairs and put this handle tie in for the neutral. So I just put this in here for temporary. But I got these handle ties right here for square D, QO. Just pops right out. That was actually hard. I wonder if I can slip that in there. Probably not. Just turn the power off to the panel if you're doing this. Come on, click in there. Click. Click. And this is meant for QO. So now when you're working on this circuit, or either one, make sure you shut off both of them so the neutral won't stay hot when you're working on it. Or if one trips, they're both going to trip.